Seattle.
Okay.
Seattle, do you set your interpretation to English?
Okay, sure. I'm also sorry, so yeah, I have to check this one.
Seattle.
Okay. Yeah, I can hear you, sure. Sorry.
Seattle. Okay. Seattle, are you ready to start the Dhamma talk now?
Sure. Okay, we can start.
Sadhu. Vandami Seattle and good evening, everyone. Good morning for everyone in the West Hemisphere. Welcome to the Dhamma talk by Venerable Kovida. Seattle will continue with the talk on the Bojjhanga Sutta part 20, and it's a conclusion on this series of talk. Today's session is scheduled to last 1.5 hours, with 1 hour 15 minutes on coursework and remaining 15 minutes on Q&A. May we now respectfully invite Seattle to start today's Dhamma talk, and may we invite Interpreter Bande to start the translation. Sadhu.
Okay, now let's share screen. Okay, now we will pay homage to the Buddha by reciting Namo Tassa 3 times. Namo Tassa Bhagavato Arahato Sama Sambuddhassa. Namo Tassa Bhagavato Arahato Sama Sambuddhassa. Namo Tassa Bhagavato Arahato Sama Sambuddhassa. So today, the last part of Bojjhanga Sutta. So actually, today we are going to use the stanza according to chanting books. Samvatanti abhinyaya nibbanaya cha bodhiya idina sajjavajena satite hondu sabada. Actually, this stanza is not from Tipitaka. The Myanmar scholar composed all the ingredients, all the information from Bojjhanga Sutta into Pali form, Pali stanza form. So here we also use the English words so that there is realization of truth. That means it means abhinyaya. The cessations of suffering, nibbānaya, and bodhiya, the knowledge of the path. This is also bodhiya. The idina sajjavajena sutite hodu sabara. And this utterance of the truth, may there always be happiness for you. Okay, here we have to say, by developing 7 enlightenment factors, what will be the benefit? Then here we can find the passage, abhinyaya. Abhi means higher, nya means knowing. So we can have higher knowledge, superior knowledge. This is called abhinya. That's why here we use the English words, realizations of the truth. Because to know form of the truth is not ordinary case, we must have superior knowledge, higher knowledge. If we have very high knowledge and superior knowledge, we can realize the form of the truth. So by practicing or by developing 7 enlightenment factors, we can realize the form of the truth. We can have higher knowledge, better knowledge, or superior knowledge. Then we also have another one, nibbānaya, cessation. Cessation of what? Here means cessation of suffering. Although we say very simply, a cessation of suffering, but in reality, it also for the cessation of the origin of suffering. Without removing the root of suffering, so we cannot remove the suffering also. Although we say very simply to the cessation of suffering, actually it covers many other things. For example, when we can develop the 7 Enlightenment factors, we can attain Nibbana. When we attain Nibbana, we can also eradicate all types of defilements. When we can attain arhatship, we can eradicate all types of defilements. Not only that, no more new karmas that can produce new life. That is why we can also understand it also cessation of this, the origin of suffering. Bodhya, knowledge of the paths. So that means the path knowledges. By developing 7 Enlightenment factors, we can also attain the path knowledges. So if we say path knowledges, there will be fruition knowledges naturally. We cannot say no, right? That means whenever path knowledge arises, there will be fruition knowledges. Naturally, it will happen. These are the benefits of developing 7 Enlightenment factors. So in the very beginning, we skip one stanza. In Myanmar version, we also have like a Dipa Manda. Dipa means divine. Manda means mantra. So this is like a divine mantra that can cure all sickness. Then here in the Pali form, Idina Sacha Vajena Sariti Hodu Savara. By this utterance of truth, may there always be happiness for you. This is just for Satchaditthana, or what is Satchaditthana, determination or resolution. Now we have another stanza. Ekasamin samayena to makalananja kasapam, kilane doki de sawa, Bojjhanga Sutta desayi. At one time, when the Bhagavan saw Moggallana and Kassapa being unwell and suffering, he breached the 7 fetters of enlightenment. We have 2 suttas. So one is Venerable Moggallana, another is Venerable Kassapa. Venerable Moggallana was very seriously sick when he was in Kijakuta Hill. Then the Buddha came and gave discourse on 7 Enlightenment fetters. Then he could recover from all sickness because he could recall that he could improve or develop the 7 Enlightenment fetters. He has completely developed 7 Enlightenment fetters. Remembering his attainments, he also knows he has already released from suffering. Let me suffer in samsara. So there are many different types of materiality in this body. Because of joyful feeling, there can be many mind-blowing materialities. There are also many other temperature-blowing materialities, also many other karma-blowing materialities. Then he became better. He could recover from sickness. Also, Venerable Mahakassapa, he was in a Pipali cave. Also, he was very seriously sick. The Buddha visited him and also gave him the same discourse about 7 Enlightenment fetters. After listening that, he also experienced the same. He could recall 7 days after his ordination, he could attain arhatship. He had already developed the 7 Enlightenment fetters. He had already released from suffering in the samsara. By recalling all these his achievements, he could rejoice over it, then he could also recover from sickness. And here we use the Pali usage, nato. That means nato also can say refuge. Many people take refuge in the Buddha. That's why we call nato. Anyway, when the Buddha delivered these discourses for two different Mahathera, we have another stanza mentioned. Teja tan binanditawa roka muchin sutan kane edina sajawajena sutiti hodu sabara. Here mentioned Teja tan, they mean those Mahatheras, Venerable Mahakassapa and Venerable Mahamoggallana. Then refer to the suttas, the discourse. Abhinanditawa, the delight. They who took delight in the discourse, at the moment we are freed from the disease. Rakamuchinsu. Takanemi at the very moment. So that means it does not take very long time to recover from sickness. After listening to discourse delivered by the Buddha, they could recover from sickness. This also, we can say, the history of Bojjhanga Sutta. So here we also mention abhinanditawa, delight. If we are happy, if we can delight listening to discourse, it depends on how strong our happiness, how strong our delight. We can also recover from sickness. By listening to discourse, if we don't feel happy, if we are not very happy, if we don't delight in it, we cannot recover from sickness. Now we also have many questions about chanting Parita. Many people ask, is it possible to chant Parita when someone is sick? So we can say yes, it will affect the patients. It depends. We have the quality of reciters. We also have qualities of listeners. From the Bali reciter, especially the Sutta reciter, in this case, we can say when we are going to chant Bojjhanga Sutta, well, we become reciter. We must be qualified enough to chant. Okay, what are the requirements for reciter? One, he must be well learning in Pali, especially his chanting will be correct grammatically. Sometimes we mispronounce, or maybe we punctuate something wrong. It's not that much effective. Okay, for example, okay, practically now we already have here Pali passage. Teta dan abhina ditawa, for example. When we cut like this, teta dan abhina ditawa. This is a wrong punctuation. So if we wish to cut into pieces, teta dan abhi nanditawa. Okay. Roka mochinsu tankane. Okay, yeah, tankane. That means tanka ne. If we cut like this is also wrong. That's why grammatically we must punctuate or we must cut properly. All our chanting must be correct. So if we cut something wrong, people can misunderstand. Listener can misunderstand. If we can punctuate properly, we can say we are qualified enough to chant Parita. This is the first requirement. We have another one. Then we must also, we must also understand the meanings of the suttas, the meaning of Pali. If we can understand, it will be effective. Especially reciter must understand the Pali. If we can understand and recite properly, it will be effective. Another requirement for reciter: we must have compassion or loving kindness toward the listeners. Especially we must have loving kindness. If we have loving kindness, metta toward the listeners, it will be effective. The last one. It is not expecting gain or donation. So expecting donations, if we chant, is not effective. This is also really very important for the reciters. So we have 4 qualities of reciter. He must catch or penetrate properly. He must understand the language or the Pali words, the meaning of suttas. Then he must have loving kindness towards listeners. And finally, he must not expect any gain. When we have this quality, there's 5 qualities, that means we are qualifying reciters. If we don't have these 4 qualities, we are not qualified enough to chant. It will not very effective to the listeners. Similarly, from the listener side, there's also some requirements. If the listeners had already committed 5 mighty karmas, he cannot get the benefit from listening to discourses, especially Purita. Then another thing is persistent wrong view. Persistent wrong view means he had unchangeable wrong view. So everybody can have wrong view. It's not really big problem. But sometimes, although we know the truth, we don't wish to change. This is called persistent wrong view. If with this kind of wrong view, although reciter is qualified enough to chant Purita, it will not affect the listeners. Another thing is not believing. So if the listener does not believe in Purita, does not believe in the power of Purita, he cannot get the benefits. These are important. But here in the case of Venerable Mahamoggallana and Venerable Mahakassapa, they are arhats. They were arhats. They have very strong faith. Not only that, they had already developed the 7 enlightenment factors. We can say they have completely developed 7 enlightenment factors. That's why they can attain path and fruition knowledge. We have already mentioned, right? Abhinyaya, Nibbānaya, Bodhiya, 3 benefits. So they have achieved very high level. They were arhats. So they have very strong confidence with the Purita. They can also rejoice over it. That's why they could recover from their sickness. That even really happened at the time of the Buddha. That's why he also adds, Etena Satya Vajena Satite Hodu Sabada. By this utterance of truth, may there always be happiness to you. We have the next part. That one is it. Ekada Dhamma Rajabi, Kilingindabi Bilido. Jone Tirina Danyewa, Banapatawana Sadaram. So here, Dhamma Raja, king of Dhamma, is the Buddha. Ekadami one time. So at one occasion, the Buddha himself got sick. So here the translation is once, when the king of Dhamma was affected by illness, he had Venerable Kovida recite the discourse respectfully. That the Buddha also listened respectfully. Listen to it respectfully. So he also sat around respectfully. Actually, the Buddha also listened respectfully. Venerable Kovida also recites respectfully. This is also very important. Respect. Although we say very simple, actually it's also very beneficial. We may have many different types of respect. Here in this case, we can say Dhamma Garawa, respect to the Dhamma. But there will be one question. When somebody is very seriously sick, if he cannot sit down, how we should do? Should we force them to sit down? Actually, if somebody is very seriously sick, he or she cannot sit down, it's okay, no problem. Then lying down, just listen respectfully, attentively. Is also good enough. So this is also important. When somebody is chanting, right, we must listen respectfully. When I was in Bali school, one lay devotee came to my teacher. Also say, oh no, he was, that's why he chant Bojjhanga Sutta every day. But my teacher say very simple, replying very simple things, right? Okay, so if you are sick, you must listen, not reciting. Even the Buddha listen respectfully. So you must ask somebody to chant for you, and you must listen. So we also try to understand the meaning. Why Venerable Mahamoggallana, Venerable Mahakasapa can recover from it. Right? We already mentioned in previous stanza, Abhinatitawa, they are very happy when listening, when hearing. They can delight in hearing, listening. That's why they can recover. Then not only that, they have already developed the 7 enlightenment factors. This is also one of the reasons. That's why they can recover very quickly. For ordinary people, we cannot expect too much because we haven't developed all 7 enlightenment factors. We may develop some part of enlightenment factors, not fully. Then we have another one, Sambodhitavana Abhada, Dhammautasi Thana Santana So, Edena Sajawajena, Sujite Hodu Sabara. Having taken delight in the discourse, the Buddha was immediately cured of the illness. And this utterance of truth, may there always be happiness to you. He also mentioned Sambodhitavana. Actually, Sambodhitava means recovering. Because also Sambodhitava means like by realizing. Dhammautasi Thana So, Thana So immediately. Utasi means emerge or cure. So at the time, in the case of the Buddha also, he had already developed the 7 enlightenment factors. Also, he also can feel happy, take delight in the discourse. That's why he could overcome, he could recover from the sickness. This also really happened. That's why he mentioned Etena Sajawajena, Sutite Hodu Sabara. By this utterance of truth, may there always be happiness to you. This is also the Buddha's case. Then again, we have the last stanza in this part. Pahina deja abada tinanambi mehesinam makahada kilisawa patanupati dhammadam etena sajawajena sutite hodu sabara. Just as the defilements, once eradicated by noble paths, cannot arise again, in like manner, the diseases of the three great sages, eliminated by 7 factors of enlightenment, never occurred again. And this utterance of truth, may there always be happiness for you. So here mentioned Tenanabi Mahesinam, 3 great sages. Okay, here I should elaborate a little bit more about Mahesi. Actually, Mahesi means seeking or searching or looking for greatness. What does it mean, greatness again? It mentioned Sila Khanda. Sila means morality. Khanda means groove. Or many moralities, not only one. So we have many rules and regulations to have better life. We are looking for better stage by following many rules and regulations. That's why we call great sages. Actually, they are looking for greatness. So when we have morality, we become greater naturally. So it doesn't mention very much in detail about Mahesaka, right? Seeking. It just mentioned Sila Khanda, etc. So we can also understand another one, Samadhi Khanda, Panya Khanda, a group of Samadhi. So we can also imagine how many kinds of Samadhi had the Buddha attained, had Venerable Mahamoggallana attained, had Venerable Kassapa attained. As a Buddhist, we have already known Buddha had attained all types of attainments, even worldly attainments, all the jhanas, all the psychic powers, all the worldly attainments. Not only that, Buddha had attained all the supramundane stage. So we can say all these attainments can be considered as greatness, looking for greatness. So if we say samadhi, there will be many different types of samadhi. Right? For example, we also have jhana samadhi, we call apana samadhi. There are also abhignana, vipassana samadhi, mekha and phala also we have samadhi. All the samadhi is also very important. It makes people greater. So the Buddha has achieved all types of attainments. That's why we can say great sages. He is seeking for greatness. Similarly, Venerable Mahamoggallana, before ordination also, they are looking for greatness. They wish to get better instruction from the better teacher. That is why he and his friends, Venerable Sariputta, find many different ways. 2 persons go to 2 different ways. After that, they just share their information. As you have already known, after listening, it is caused from Venerable Assaji, Venerable Sariputta, and then his name is Upadisa, right? Venerable Assaji attained Sotapanna. He shared the same thing to Venerable Mahamoggallana. His husband's name is Kolita. Also, he also attained Sotapanna. After that, they just give up previous practice, go to the Buddha, they were ordained. Then they also practice very diligently, looking for greatness. This is called Mahesi. In the case of Venerable Mahakassapa, he also ordained, giving up many his belongings, Then he had many Trudanga practice. He's like a special Trudanga practitioners. He follow all the Trudangas, all the ascetic practice. So that means he's also seeking for greatness all the time. So we have to remember this one. Tainanambi Mahesina means the Buddha, Venerable Mahamoggallana, Venerable Mahakassapa. They are called Tainanam 3. Mahesimi, sages, great sages. Actually, that means great seeker, we can also say. Mahami, greatness. Asimi, seeking or looking for. So they are looking for greatness. Eliminated by 7 Enlightenment fetters, never occurs again. So here we have an example. Just as the defilements once eradicated by noble paths. So that means eradicated when we have path and fresh knowledge, will eradicate the defilements. After eradication, the defilements will never occur, never arise anymore. Similarly, after listening to the discourse of Enlightenment fetters, discourse on the Enlightenment fetters, the 3 great talkers, great seekers, can recover from sickness. Not only that, the sickness never arise, never occur anymore. This is also the power of 7 Enlightenment fetters. Well, this case really happened at the time of the Buddha. That's why at the end there's a Bojjhanga. Find this utterance of the truth. May there always be happiness for you. Okay, these are the stanzas we can find in our daily chant. So in our daily life, from time to time, we have to develop the 7 Enlightenment fetters. So we have already mentioned 2 different rules. The first one we say Sati Sambojjhanga. Sati is always needed. When we have awareness, we can do everything smooth. If we are negligent, we cannot do anything. So Sati Sambojjhanga is always needed. Always needed. This is really very important. Then we have 6 other Enlightenment fetters. Dhammavijaya Sambojjhanga, Viriya Sambojjhanga, and Piti Sambojjhanga. Dhammavijaya is also actually analyzing, investigating. But sometimes if we analyze unnecessary things, it makes us confused. It just makes us something unclear in our mind. Just disturbance. So we must have proper investigation. That's why when we talk about the element fetter of Dhammavijaya, we also say to analyze such as aggregates, elements, bases, and all ultimate realities. This is the way to develop. Not only that, we also have to listen to very profound Dhamma, or we have to review the profundity of the Dhamma. As I mentioned, like a Four Noble Truths, aggregates, bases, elements, and so on. Actually, in every single Enlightenment fetters, he also mentioned association. Right association and wrong association. For example, if we wish to improve the Enlightenment fetter of mindfulness, we might associate with mindful person. We must not associate with a negligent person. Association is also one of the supporting causes of improvement. That is why we also need proper association. You can also understand the same thing in other enlightenment factors. For example, Dhammavicca Bojjhanga. So we must be wise to analyze the ultimate reality. If we associate with unwise people, dupanya, right? Unwise people, we cannot improve. Not only that, there's also one state, one mention, tatati mutata in every single enlightenment factors. Actually, atimuta means inclination or inclining, also willingness. If we are willing to develop, it's possible. Sometimes we are unwilling to develop. We cannot improve anymore. That's also important. So if we summarize all these 7 enlightenment factors, we must have, in every single enlightenment factor, there are 3 things. Always, these 3 are always in every single enlightenment factors when we are going to develop. The first one is association, right association. Second one, wrong sense association. The third one is willingness or inclination to develop enlightenment factors. So I have already mentioned 3 different enlightenment factors in one group: Dhammavicca, Viriya, and Piti. These 3 are one group. So we can choose any of them according to the conditions we have. So when we are going to extinguish fire, we must not add fuel into it. We must cover it with wet clothes, wet grass, wet leaves. If we cover the fire with all the things, wet clothes, wet fire, or the wet leaves, or wet wood or something, then it will, we can extinguish the fire. If we just put many fuel into it, we cannot extinguish the fire. So now we have many fire extinguisher, many different ways to solve the problem. Anyway, the main thing is we must use something to extinguish the fire. If we add many fuel into it, we're going to extinguish. Similarly, when we have a lot of laziness, when our mind becomes inactive, but sometimes when our body becomes very weak, we also hesitate to practice. We also have lack of energy, lack of confidence. When we have all these conditions, mind is not very positive. We have more negative. That means we have more unwillingness to improve ourselves. At the time, we should develop these 3: Dhammavicca, investigation, Dhamma, Viriya, the efforts, Piti, the rapture or joy. If we can develop these 3 enlightenment factors, we can overcome laziness, unwillingness, sloth and torpor, or many other negatives mind. So we have already mentioned how to develop in every single part of enlightenment factors in the retreats. So now just revising, just reviving all the things, just revise. Then you also have already know the meaning of Viriya, also the meaning of Piti, right? That means another thing we have to say a little bit more about association. In Pali, we call sevana. Mostly people say associate or association. Then many people also misunderstand, if we have very close relationship with somebody, then we associate, right? But there are many people, they came to Paudaya They come and see Pausarji. But they are not listener of Phaodoya's traditions. They are not follower of Phaodoya traditions. They will not listen Phaodoya's Sayadaw's advice. We cannot say it's association. They just associate bodily and bhavali, not mentally. So we also need to associate really wholeheartedly, mentally. So that means if we listen to the wise people, we are associated with wise people, good people. If we listen to bad people or follow their way of practice, we are associated with bad people. So here, although we say associate, it doesn't mean bodily and bhavali. It just means mentally. Another thing is that you must know the value of a good person. You must emulate or imitate the way they practice. It will be easier for improvement. So if we were to improve mindfulness, we must associate with mindful people. How you talk about it? Similarly, when we wish to develop enlightenment factor of investigation, we must associate with wise people who know ultimate reality, who knows five brigades, elements, bases, faculties, all the things. When we are going to improve the enlightenment factor or efforts, we must not associate with lazy person. We must associate with diligent person. If we emulate lazy person, it's very easy. Mostly people are very easy to follow the wrong training, the wrong way. Also, it looks a little bit easier. Like a fake gold is more beautiful, right? It looks more beautiful. Similarly, what about the jade or any jewelries, right? Like ruby or something. Fake one is brighter than natural one, and it looks more beautiful. Similarly, there are many fake practice. It looks nicer, easier, but it will not bring you to improve. It will not lead you to attainment. This is also really very important. So when we are lazy, we just need to get shortcuts. And we follow wrong steps. Also, we also like easier lifestyles and also easier way of practice. We also get lost our confidence. Okay, if we say briefly, association means we must follow their way, the way of their practice, or the way they understand. Is also important. Then, in the case of Vidya Sambojjhanga, we must associate it with diligent persons, diligent people. So we can also know how diligent they are, how they spend their time, how they practice. If we can follow their footsteps, we can improve. Especially even in Dhamma, right? Sometimes there are many purposes of practicing Dhamma. Many people, they don't wish to improve. They don't want to get good reputation or good image of their life. When we have this kind of intention, sure, it will stop only good reputation or a good image of your life, not more than that. If we change our aim or our goal, like do attain Nibbana or do attain jhana or something, it will be getting better and better. Okay, briefly, when we are diligent enough, we can achieve anything we like. This is also important. There's an association with diligent people, associated with lazy people. Not only that, willingness to develop enlightenment factor of viriya efforts. Then this is also important. Another one, Piti Sambojjhanga. You may remember Piti Sambojjhanga. At the time, we have to explain many things. We have many recollections to have Piti Sambojjhanga, right? Okay, if we summarize about their practice, especially, association. Those who have a lot of worry, a lot of anxiety, if we associate with that kind of people, you cannot have pity, right? So you might associate with those who can have pity, who can rejoice over other people's merit or something. But sometimes, although we see somebody doing very well, we cannot rejoice. See, there are many cases, it's very clear. Right? They just like people working well, they don't want to disturb or spoil their activities or disturb their activities. When we have this kind of mind, when somebody has this kind of mind, don't associate with that. It will be very, very tolerable for the practitioners. Anyway, now when we talk about Bojjhanga, I also talk about recollection of Buddha's quality, Dhamma's quality, Sangha's quality, also the charity, the recollection of morality, charity, or generosity. We can say the recollection of divine beings, recollection of peace. I have already listed out all the things. If we can do all the things, so we can improve. For our association is very clear, right? So somebody has a lot of worry, a lot of anxiety, a lot of negativities, don't associate. Those who are very happy, or very peaceful, very calm, very quiet, you can associate with them. It will be easier. So the first three, Dhammavicaya, Viriya, and PD. When we are lazy, or when our minds are active, we have to develop these three. Then we have another three. When we have too much active, sometimes when our minds are very active, it also disturbs our practice. It also leads us to something wrong. That is why we must develop the last three. Passaddhi Sambojjhanga, Samadhi Sambojjhanga, Upekkha Sambojjhanga. If we can develop these three, we can improve. Of course, if we are going to develop Passaddhi Sambojjhanga, right, we must also have peaceful people, bodily and verbally or mentally peaceful people. We must communicate with them. We must follow the way they practice. We must know their value. If we associate with negative people, we cannot improve. Similarly, in the case of Samadhi, and you may remember I talked about many different types of Samadhi at the time. Even I talk about the jhanas quality and many things. I also mentioned there about momentary concentration. Because everywhere, wherever I conduct retreats, they ask momentary concentration, momentary concentration, momentary concentration, everywhere. That's why I just add that topic in every time I talk. So in Korea also, I use the same ingredient, the same information. Because I just talk about Dhammacakkappavattana Sutta, also Noble Eightfold Path and the Four Noble Truths. When I talk about Samadhi, Sama Samadhi, I talk about momentary concentration, asset concentration, absorption concentration, the same things, right? All the meditator has already known what are really called jhanas, asset concentrations, and momentary concentrations. So to develop, there are many, many supporting causes. Both in Passaddhi Sambojjhanga and Samadhi Sambojjhanga, we need many, many supporting causes. For example, weather, foods, environment, all these are really very important to develop Passaddhi Sambojjhanga and Upekkha Samadhi Sambojjhanga. If we have really very good supporting causes, we can improve faster. If we don't have good supporting causes, we cannot improve faster. We will improve very slowly. Sometimes we cannot improve also. That is why it's also important. We must have many supporting causes. Some of the supporting causes are external, like weather, foods, environment, association, like a friends or teacher or anybody. Some of them are internally. It comes from our mindset. how we balance controlling faculties, how we live, is our lifestyle also. Then if we have good association, so we can also improve. If we have bad association, we cannot improve. This is also important. For in the case of the concentration, we must associate with concentrated person. If we associate with restless person, we cannot improve anymore. So for about Upakasa Bojjhanga, the equanimity, is also really very important for all the meditators. Sometimes we have good conditions, we cannot ignore. We follow it, we get involved with it. It becomes an obstacle for our improvement. Similarly, bad situation, we cannot ignore it. Whatever condition arises, then all the bad things will arise. It will disturb our concentration. That is why we need more equanimity. If we have more equanimities, actually, every single conditions, if we have equanimity, it's very peaceful. It's very easy to subside our restlessness or worry or anything. So in this case, we are going to develop Upakasa Bojjhanga. We also need association, right? Those who have very strong attachment to living things, non-living things. If we have this kind of association, do that kind of people, it will be very big disturbance. If we associate with somebody who doesn't have any very strong attachment to living things or non-living things, it's easier to improve. Because attachment also one of the big problem. We are very easy to attach to many good things. Similarly, we can be distracted by many bad things. If we have equanimities, we can improve faster. Okay, briefly, when we don't have good conditions, the first three, Amavijaya, Viriya, and Piti. When our mind is so active, very strong emotion, especially, we can say too much joy, it also causes emotion. At the time, we have to develop the last three, tranquility, concentration, and equanimity. These are the conditions we have to develop. That is why for about development of 7 Enlightenment factors, we don't have fixed procedure. Timely, we must do it. It depends on how is our condition. When conditions are good, another way. Conditions are bad, another way. It depends on the condition we have. We have to change different enlightenment factors to develop. If we can develop well, we can overcome all the problem. We can also improve our life. Okay, as we have already mentioned before, Bojjhanga Sutta. And this is the end of Bojjhanga Sutta, right? Bojjhanga Sutta Nittita. Bodhi also means enlightenment. Angami, the cause. It's the cause of enlightenment. It can lead us to the enlightenment. This is one definition. Bodhi also can be a person of quality, who has quality to attain enlightenment. So they are also the factor or the quality of the person who can get enlightenment. So if we don't have all these qualities, we cannot attain any path of first knowledge. So if we wish to be qualified to attain path of first knowledge, we must develop these 7 Enlightenment factors. So today we have already finished the 7 Enlightenment factors up to the end, right? So as conclusion, so we have many suttas. The Bojjhanga Sutta can be found, the Bojjhanga chapter also can be found in Samatha-Vipassanā Sutta. We also have Bojjhanga Papa. Then we also have Bojjhanga Sutta. We also have Bojjhanga Samyutta. There are many Bojjhanga. Buddha say many different things, many different conditions to develop Bojjhanga according to the situation. So Bojjhanga Sutta also can be protection to recover from sickness. Bojjhanga Sutta also for practice, we can improve. So I have already said long times ago, you may forget, that's why I have to repeat the same things. Actually, developing Bojjhanga is not for beginners. I think you may remember, you may remember this kind of saying before. In Samatha-Vipassanā Sutta, we also have Bojjhanga chapter. It's not for beginners. But some information are very useful for beginners. That's why I choose this one. For example, Bojjhanga. Whenever we are lazy, we can feel joyful feeling, we can recall any of charity or morality we have accumulated in the past. After that, we can also feel joyful feeling. As long as we don't follow joyful feeling too much, is good enough. Sometimes we have strong attachment to peacefulness, joyfulness, emptiness. We cannot improve anymore. So the main thing is, although we are going to develop Bojjhanga, don't touch the Bojjhanga also. You may have good experiences. If we attachment to Bojjhanga, you're going to improve, right? So the Buddha said, he just teach like it's the assembly of rats. A person is going to run away from his enemies are chasing him. So he wants to escape from his enemies. On the way, he found very big river. It's very wide, although he could not swim. He had to cross over the river. After crossing the river, he can be safe. So he collects many woods, bamboo, and many things. After that, he make a raft. He crossed the river. After crossing over the river, he will not bring the raft wherever he goes. Oh, this raft is very beneficial for me, or very useful for me. So he will not bring the raft wherever he goes. Similarly, when we attain path and fruition knowledge, we don't need to bring the raft. Before attaining path and fruition knowledge, you must use as a raft. So now Bojjhanga, this is also a raft for you to cross over the samsara. So now we also know how to combine, how to make a raft to cross over. We have many different informations from many different texts. The main thing is we must use the raft. If we don't use, it will be spoiled naturally, right? So after listening to this Bojjhanga Sutta, I expect you may use the theory and the practice whenever you encounter some difficulties. It will be more beneficial, more meaningful for your time or listening this discourse. So may you all be able to practice the 3 trainings, and may you all be able to realize the final cessation and no suffering.
Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. Thank you, Sayadaw. Sayadaw, there are a few questions in the chat group.
Okay.
Can we proceed to read the question?
Sure.
Okay. And then, dear participant, if you have any question, you may write your question in the Zoom chat, and we will read out. Okay. Okay. First question is a Chinese question.
Okay.
顶礼西亚多，请问西亚多，当我们在念诵觉知经帮助病者时，我们需要念多久和多少次？除了西亚多解释的5种条件，念诵的力量跟个人守戒修行的程度有直接关系吗？ sadhu, sadhu, sadhu.
Okay, if somebody is immoral, so it will be more effective, we can say, right? Most like, for example, divine being also can listen, right? This is one issue, right? Many good divine beings can listen. Then also it can be more effective. Then it doesn't, actually in the case of the quality, it doesn't mention anything about morality, just mention, right? Parikrama or punctuation or understanding the meaning, so on, right? It doesn't mention anything about morality. One more thing here, when we talk about metta, loving kindness, actually, if we don't have good mind, we're gonna have metta. Another thing, if we don't have good mind, we don't have good speech and a good action. That means immoral, right? We can be immoral also. That is why if we say metta, it also covers morality. That's why we can also say indirectly, morality is also one of the factors, right? Next one.
Vandami Sayadaw, are there different versions of the Bojjhanga Sutta? Which one should we chant? I'm not good in Pali. Is it still effective if I only recite the sutta meaning in English or Chinese? Or I recite the Pali using the Chinese pronunciation, but I may not be very accurate. Will it still be effective this way? Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu.
Actually, we just recommend to chant in Pali directly, right? It will be more effective. But we don't recommend to chant in other languages, English or Chinese or any other languages, right? So, okay, one more thing. You can listen many other reciter. So trying to emulate the way they chant is also okay, not really big problem. Okay, for about chanting Bojjhanga Sutta, I think you may have already know my chanting of house already, right? Maybe you may not know also, I'm not sure. Because when I was in Nepal, they play my audio file. Actually, when Paul was sick in Myanmar, then they request me to record on Bojjhanga chanting. Okay, I have to introduce how to chant. For example, you may go to chant about Venerable Mahakasapa, right? So, for example, Sri Sambojjhango Ko Kasapa, Bhagavata Samatha-Vipassanā Bhavita Bodhikata, was that right? Suddenly, Binyani Samudaya, right? They have the formula already, right? In the case of Kasapa, you can also use the patient name. For example, patient name is okay. Just say some Chinese name, right? Or maybe it can be English name. We can use any name there. In the case of Kasapa, we can use the patient name. Now we can chant the same. You can follow Kasapa Bojjhanga or Moggallana Bojjhanga or about the Buddha or Chunda or any formula you can use. Just changing the name is good enough. Okay. So one more thing here, when I chant Paul sickness, I just chant only 7 enlightenment factors and just cut the last part. I don't chant the last part. Okay. So this is also one of the things I should give information. Unfortunately, I don't have that file anymore in my computer. I have already deleted it. When I have to chant, I just make all my document first, arrange everything, and then I record in the telephone. I send to Paul Memo. So I think in some Paul meditation center they may have my recording. This is my way of chanting, right? You can also follow Sri Lanka way of chanting or any other way of chanting. It doesn't matter. The main thing is try to follow the part 1. It will be effective. Okay. Another one.
Thank you, Sayadaw. Question 3, Wandami Sayadaw. How often should we reflect on our own 7 enlightenment factors? Is it better if we ask our meditation teacher about our condition during the meditation interview? Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu.
Actually, it depends on your mental state. Sometimes your mind is not very calm, or even your mind is not very active or too much lazy, then you can do the first 3, right? So it's conditional. We cannot say exactly, right? That's why if you have more awareness of your conditions, it will be much better. Instead of asking the teacher, you can also do some other, like when your mind is very lazy. If you do pretty much, so it's positive. When you lost your confidence, you can also do many things from Buddhist Sambhaja, for example, Buddha Nusati, Dhamma Nusati, Sangha Nusati, anything is possible. It depends on the conditions. You can choose different part of Bojjhanga Sutta. Okay? Another one.
Sayadaw. Wandami Sayadaw, when I was in desperation and suicidal, I read Theravada Buddhism books and almost became a Buddhist when I was 27. But when I'm not unhappy, I'm satisfied to be in this life rebirth. How to have enough faith, samvega and viriya continuously to be out of samsara. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu.
Okay. So actually, to have faith, it will take longer time, right? Okay. Tell me, how many sutta have you learned? This is also one of the things. Sometimes you are learning, your knowledge also make your faith stronger. This is one issue, right? Then, actually, we have many other ways to improve our faith. The main thing is that although we have very strong faith, if we are not very wise, we can believe many wrong things. So you must balance faith with wisdom. Faith with knowledge or wisdom, right? It will be easier to have proper faith. We cannot say enough faith, proper faith. So if we believe in the right things, it will be okay. Another thing is self-confidence. In the case of saddha, I think in this we can say Pali word saddha. Not only religious faith, you also need self-confidence. If you don't believe your ability, you cannot improve. Sometimes you don't believe your practice, you cannot improve. Sometimes you don't have any aim or any goal, then this is also one of the problems. You must believe your aim. You must believe the practice. You must believe your ability. So, which one is a lack of? What's one lacking? You must know it. And you have to change. This is the one thing, right? What about samvega and viriya? Okay, these two have relationship. To have viriya, you need confidence or samvega. Mostly samvega is more powerful to exert efforts, because the primary cause of viriya is samvega. Or samvega vatu, we can say. Samvega vatu, we can say the base of sense of urgency. Okay, when we have samvega, then we must be able to remove mana, pride. So although you think that you have some, you still have mana, pride or arrogance or stubborn. It's not really samvega yet. So to have samvega, there are many ways. Because there are many conditions to have samvega. So by recording samsara, suffering in the samsara, you can also have samvega. Then sometimes even for surviving, we also have a lot of suffering. We can recall our memory of survivor suffering. Then we can also have sense of urgency. Of course, if we can recall aging, sickness, death, this is also very clear already. In the case of aging, that means if you cannot carry your body anymore, you cannot meditate. If we cannot carry our body, sure, we cannot meditate anymore. When we are old or when we are very sick, we cannot carry our body. The death is the last moment of our life, right? Now we must be ready for it. This can be the cause of samvega. So it depends on your lifestyles. I don't know that much, right? You can choose what kind of practice is suitable for your samvega. Recollection, suffering in the samsara, or aging, sickness, death, or survival suffering. But in the case of continuously, you also say face samvega and virya, continuously you also say, right? Continuously. Actually, in this case, virya is more important. Virya means body energy and mental energy. So before encountering difficulty, we all think that we are diligent enough. When we encounter difficulty, our mind starts shaking. If we continue, our mind is strong enough. Our mental effort is strong enough. Then if we give up, we don't have enough mind power to improve. So here, virya means your mind power must be strong enough to attain path of first knowledge. Then it will be useful for your practice. You can be out of samsara. Okay? Next one.
Thank you, Sayadaw. Question 5. Wonder me, Sayadaw, if we are new Buddhists, how do we differentiate real goal or fake goal? Dhamma. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu.
Okay. I just give one example, right? The similar questions also asked in Nepal. Some Nepalese devotees also ask similar questions. But they have a lot of information about many different traditions. But sometimes, they just focus on the story too much, right? Here's a story, for example, story of this bhikkhu, that bhikkhu, something like that. Rather than they just emphasize on their own experience too much. It can be fake goal. So if we say something, we might have source different from Pali Canon, or commentary, or sub-commentary. We have many texts about training. There will be some problem. Many people in Western country or some other country, they don't believe commentary. They don't accept commentary. Okay, there are also many English translation. When I read, many of scholars translate according to commentary in many part of their text. If some part of Pali Canon is not very clear, they translate according to the commentary. Right? That means many of scholars do this kind of methods. For example, like we have a Tika Nikaya, long discourses of the Buddha or something, right? Or the long discourse, Magellan discourse of the Buddha, or all the collections, we can find the same. All the scholars do the same. Okay, if we say briefly, if somebody emphasizes on their own experience and story or many different things, let me don't take it very seriously. You can listen to their Dhamma talk for motivation. Okay, no problem. But for practice, there must be source. If they emphasize on the source and just explain according to the Pali canons or commentary or sub-commentary, you can believe it. You can take it. Another thing, you can also study Tipitaka in your own language. I think you have many of people have Tipitaka in many different languages. Right? So, for example, in English, we have many different versions. Even we have application, we can download and we can read Tipitaka, right? So, okay, one more thing, there are many parts we cannot understand, especially ordinary people cannot understand. For Bhikkhu, okay, we can read Pali, and we can understand a little bit deeper. So, to differentiate real goal and a fake goal, another way is fake goal is really very easy. They will say you easily, right? You can take jhana, path of first knowledge within a few days, few weeks, few months. They may have a lot of guarantee. Even the Buddha cannot guarantee like this. If they have a lot of, if they are right, talking many seriously, or I guarantee to attain power and knowledge, nibbana, inner peace. They may say many things. If we say very easily, then this is a fake. Real goal is not that easy. Okay? So I think it's good enough for information. Next one.
On the Misiado, some say that when a person is very near to their death, we should not touch his body as his four elements are breaking up. Is this true? Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu.
Actually, this is a wrong information. We can touch, it doesn't matter, right? As long as the patient is strong enough, we can also get advice or something, it's okay, no problem. Even like a chanting, right? Holding his hand or something, some about his head or something, we can also chant, right? Recently, one Malaysian CLA passed away. Also, he's also my old student. Very faithful student, we can also say, right? She passed away. Then we can say her Dhamma friends chanting around her until her last moment. You know, if you have that kind of good friends, although they touch you, it doesn't matter, right? So we don't have this kind of idea, and we're gonna have this kind of say in Buddha teaching. It's okay, you can touch. Next one.
Thank you, Sayadaw. The next question is a Chinese question.
李健西亚多，请问西亚多，如果我们已经学习了好几种传承的佛法，我们的思维也可能根据我们所学变成根深蒂固了，那我们应该怎样有效率的去掉这些旧思维，去学习正确的佛陀的法？沙都沙都沙都。
Okay, one more thing, right? There are many theories, actually. We can learn many theory. Then sometimes like we just follow theory is not that much useful for our practice. There are many logics, many simile, right? Many stories. Some of them are really useful, very helpful for our practice. Okay, if we summarize, for example, it can upgrade your morality. Okay, you can accept that kind of tradition. It doesn't matter. We also have, right, many different kinds of morality, right? For example, Ajara Sila. I have already said Ajara Sila many times. It can be from religion also. As long as it's useful for your morality, you can still doing it. It doesn't matter. It can upgrade your morality. You can do it. Another thing, it can improve your concentration. You can do it. This is also one of the things. Another thing, if it upgrade your knowledge, okay, you can learn. It doesn't matter. So for about changing the mind, it's not that easy. But by practicing, practically, just choose only useful information is okay, no really big problem. For example, I also read many books. Actually, in 2013, when I was in Malaysia, I also read many books. Then when somebody reads the book I'm reading, then they also say, oh, in Anapana, and this teacher say like that, that teacher say like that. They say, they prove many books. They refer to many books. Then I say, don't read any books like this. Then they also complain, why you are reading this kind of books? I'm reading the book, but they also read the same books. But I say, I know what is the goal and rubbish. That's why I can read. I can choose which one is the goal, which one is the rubbish. For you, you may think rubbish as a goal as a rubbish. That's why don't read this kind of things. Okay. So this is also one of the cases. You have to understand. As long as you can upgrade, we can say 3, Sila Samadhi Panya, you can follow it. If it is gonna upgrade your Sila Samadhi Panya, don't follow it. Not that much practical, not that much useful information, right? It will be easier. Next one. Oh, no
Thank
more.
you, Sayadaw. Okay, Sayadaw, there's no more question. Dear Dhamma brothers and sisters, do you still have any question? Okay, Sayadaw, there's one more question in the chat.
Okay.
Wandami Sayadaw, I am very sensitive and unhappy sometimes because I felt more than not so sensitive people. Sayadaw is sensitive and has good metta. How?
Sensitive. What are we sensitive?
Cannot understand.
I cannot understand also.
Okay. Okay, dear Dhamma friends, maybe you want to make clear your question? Okay. Can Sayadaw be happy even you are sensitive? This is the second part of her question.
What kind of sensitive also, right? Luca?
Yes, Sayadaw. Yes, I feel more than not so. Sayadaw. Okay. Dear Dhamma friends, do you want to phrase your sentence again? We cannot understand your question. Okay. There's no reply. The yogi didn't reply anything. Or how can Sayadaw be happy even he is sensitive?
It is sensitive means somebody is sensitive. I'm happy. Right? Many sensitive people are happy. Okay. I can hear you. Oversensitive. Okay.
Many sensitive people are unhappy. This is the next part of the question.
Okay. That means other people are happy, I'm happy, yeah? Right? How can Sayadaw be happy even he is unhappy? He is sensitive. I see. How can I feel happy, right? I'm not sure I'm happy or not also. Mostly, okay, one more thing, right? Most of the time we have equanimous feeling. We have very short time happiness, really. Okay, now I'm given Samatha, right? My feeling is neither happiness nor unhappiness. Mostly we have a neutral feeling. Only sometimes when I have to say something, like new or something, right? I have to be very careful. I have besides given new information, right? I can feel a little bit happy. So it depends on the case of the person, right? I mean, feel happiness or unhappiness.
Sadhu, Sayadaw. Okay. Sayadaw, there is no more question in the chat group. Okay. So, okay. Sadhu. Thank you, Sayadaw. Thank you very much for your valuable teachings today. And thank you, our interpreter Bante, for the translation. May we invite Sayadaw to lead us in making aspiration and sharing of merits?
Okay. Etawada ja amehi sambadam bunya sambadam sabbe deva numodandu sabbe buddha numodandu sabbe saddha numodandu sabba sambati siriya idame nyatinam hodu sukhita hondu nyadayo idame nyatinam hodu sukhita hondu nyadayo idame nyatinam hodu sukhita hondu nyadayo idame punyam asawakaya waham hodu idame punyam nibbanasa pajayo hodu mama punya bhagam sabba sadanam bhajami te sabbe me samam Punya Bhagam Lavandu Sadhu Sadhu Sadhu.
Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. Thank you, Sayadaw, and everyone for your time and participation. Just a reminder here, Sayadaw will be resuming his Visuddhimagga class, lesson 59 on the 3rd of August, Saturday, 8 to 10 p.m. So if you are interested, you may join the class later on. We will put the announcement in the Facebook and the group chat. Okay, till we meet the next session, may all be well and happy, and may all have a peaceful day. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu.